In the 20th century, women were treated as temporary workers. So, as World War II began, some women started slowly entering the workforce to replace their deceased husbands. So, this ultimately forced employers and the government to address the pregnancy problem at hand. So, in the 1960s, multiple waves of feminists and feminism started to progress. And as we attained the EEOC, our Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, this granted and required employers to treat pregnancies as to any other disability standards. And also the Pregnancy Discrimination Act also provided some rules, but still did not provide the paid leave for parents that they should have. But then in the 1980s, the Family Employment Security Act provided up to 26 weeks per year for unpaid leave to care for newborns and adoptions. Then Parental and the Disability Leave Act changed it to 18 weeks. So the following year, the Family Leave Act was finally passed by the Senate, allowing parents up to 12 weeks of unpaid parental leave. But this was still not good enough for our country. Over the last 2 decades, the attempts to make the FMLA Act branch out have failed. The Congress has been very reluctant to find any efforts and expand, while other states and countries are excelling in those areas. Now in 2015, Barack Obama became the first president to propose any paid leave in the State of the Union address. In the following year, in 2016, a poll was taken, and at least over 76% of voters and elected officials found it important to guarantee paid family and medical leave towards parents with newborn children and adoptions. Over 51% of parents in the U.S. work full-time. Now that doesn't sound like much, but about 4 million babies are born in the U.S. each year. So statistically, that's about 2 million babies not having or attaining that bond like they should with their parents. Only 6 out of 50 states provide paid leave for parents with newborns and adoptions, but Utah was not one of them. Now this is Layla. Her adoption was December 11, 2018, and her full-time parents, Nikki and Keith, struggled to find any time for their family to spend time together during the work week after her adoption. This was ultimately due to no parental laws guided in Georgia, and Keith, as a chef full-time, he could not take off work the way he wanted to spend time with Layla. And Nikki, as her job was a Spanish teacher at school, she only could see her daughter at night. So ultimately, they both decided to move back in with their parents to cut financial costs and to spend some quality time with their newborn. Paternity leave is a rare gift in the U.S. and not a common benefit, but under the Family and Medical Leave Act, the U.S. grants fathers or secondary caregivers up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave, and some fathers take only 7 days or less, if any time at all. But with this comes an unspoken message that lacks professional drive and commitment from their peers.
The U.S. is the only industrialized country in the world without paid family leave. We're one of 3 countries in the world without legal maternity leave, and that puts us in the same category as Papua New Guinea and Swaziland. Until the U.S. addresses, as a country, not just leaves it to corporations, but until our country addresses the fact that 70% of working women are working mothers, or until we actually celebrate and encourage more men to play a larger role in parenting, which countries like Norway do, I think women aren't going to make any progress.
I propose that everyone in this community, whether you're male or female, and you want to have kids or you already have kids, to speak up, because this opportunity to make an executive decision to help mothers and fathers will ultimately make the government depend on common sense rather than obvious corporate views that we have today. Personally, as an adoptive daughter, I'm speaking out against these laws that haven't been made or haven't been in effect for my two great adoptive parents and the people that should get these laws. But we as a community can encourage and be the biggest advocates towards parental leave and push the government to see that this is a solution and not a problem in the United States.